The year is 2025. The world has changed in many ways, but some things remain the same. The political landscape is as turbulent as ever, and the global economy is feeling the strain. Donald Trump is back in the White House. His return to power has been met with mixed reactions, both domestically and internationally. Supporters hail his comeback as a return to strong leadership, while critics fear a repeat of past controversies. And he's brought tariffs back with him. These tariffs, which are essentially taxes on imported goods, were a hallmark of his previous administration. They were intended to protect American industries, but often led to increased costs for consumers and strained international relations. Trump has announced plans to put new taxes on goods imported from other countries. This move is seen as an effort to boost domestic manufacturing and reduce the trade deficit. However, it has also raised concerns about potential retaliation from other nations. This has sparked fears of a new trade war. Financial analysts are closely monitoring the situation, and the stock market has already shown signs of instability. Investors are worried about the long-term impact on global trade and economic growth. Countries could respond by putting tariffs on American goods. Trade negotiations are becoming increasingly tense, with officials from various countries trying to navigate this complex and volatile situation. The potential for a full-blown trade war looms large. This could hurt businesses and the global economy. The situation is tense. Businesses are worried. Small business owners in particular are feeling the pressure as they face higher costs for imported goods and uncertainty about the future. The memories of the last global financial crisis are still fresh, and many fear a repeat, and many people are wondering, what exactly are tariffs and how will they affect me? Tariffs can lead to higher prices for everyday items, from electronics to clothing. Consumers may find themselves paying more at the checkout, and this could lead to decreased spending and a slowdown in economic activity. The ripple effects of these policies are far-reaching, and the world watches anxiously to see how this new chapter in global trade will unfold. Let's break it down. A tariff is basically a tax on things brought in from other countries. Imagine you're buying a fancy coffee maker from Italy. If the US government puts a tariff on Italian coffee makers, the price goes up. This makes the American-made coffee maker look cheaper. The idea behind tariffs is to encourage people to buy American. But is it that simple? This isn't Trump's first time using tariffs. He slapped tariffs on goods from China and other countries during his first term. Trump argued that these tariffs were necessary to protect American jobs. He said they would bring back manufacturing to the US. However, not everyone agrees with this approach. Critics argue that tariffs actually hurt American consumers and businesses. They say tariffs lead to higher prices and retaliation from other countries. Supporters of Trump's tariffs say they're needed to level the playing field. They argue that some countries have unfair trade practices. These practices make it hard for American companies to compete. Tariffs, they say, can help protect American jobs and businesses from unfair competition. The hope is that by making foreign goods more expensive, American consumers will choose to buy American-made products instead. This in turn could lead to more jobs in manufacturing and other industries. Section 5, higher costs for consumers. Here's the catch. Tariffs often lead to higher prices for consumers. When a tariff is imposed on imported goods, the cost of these goods increases. Retailers, in turn, pass these additional costs on to consumers. This means that the everyday items you rely on, from groceries to household appliances, can become significantly more expensive. Remember that Italian coffee maker? It's a perfect example. Before the tariff, it might have been a reasonably priced option for your morning brew. The tariff makes it more expensive. Now, with the added cost of the tariff, the price tag on that Italian coffee maker has shot up, making it less affordable for the average consumer. But so does the American one, now that there's less competition. With fewer imported options available, American manufacturers might feel less pressure to keep their prices competitive. As a result, even domestically produced coffee makers can see a price hike. You, the coffee lover, end up paying more no matter what. Whether you choose the imported or the domestic option, your wallet takes a hit. This means that while tariffs might protect some American jobs, they could also hurt American consumers who have to pay more for everyday goods. The impact is felt across the board, from families trying to stick to a budget to individuals who are already struggling with the cost of living. And that's not even considering how other countries might retaliate. When one country imposes tariffs, others often respond in kind, leading to a trade war. This can further disrupt the market, causing even more price increases and economic instability. In the end, the consumer bears the brunt of these policies, facing higher costs and fewer choices. Section 6. The risk of retaliation. When one country imposes tariffs, others might retaliate. They might put tariffs on American goods, making them more expensive in those countries. This can hurt American businesses that sell their products overseas. For example, let's say the US puts a tariff on French wine. France might retaliate by putting a tariff on American-made cars. This would make American cars more expensive in France, potentially hurting American car manufacturers. Section 7. Expert opinions on the tariff plan. Experts are divided on whether Trump's new tariffs will help or hurt the US economy. On one side, some economists argue that these tariffs could provide a much-needed boost to American industries that have been struggling to compete with cheaper foreign imports. They believe that by imposing tariffs, the government can level the playing field, making American-made products more competitive both domestically and internationally. This, in turn, could lead to job creation and economic growth within the United States. However, other experts are concerned that tariffs could lead to a trade war, which could hurt global economic growth. They warn that other countries might retaliate by imposing their own tariffs on American goods, leading to a tit-for-tat escalation that could disrupt international trade. This could result in higher prices for consumers, reduced export opportunities for American businesses, and overall economic instability. The fear is that a prolonged trade war could have far-reaching consequences, affecting not just the US economy, but the global economy as well. Others argue that tariffs are a necessary tool to protect American interests. They point out that certain industries, such as steel and aluminum, are critical to national security and should be safeguarded against unfair foreign competition. By imposing tariffs, the government can ensure that these industries remain viable and capable of meeting the country's needs in times of crisis. Additionally, proponents of tariffs believe that they can be used as a bargaining chip in trade negotiations, giving the US leverage to secure better deals with other countries. The truth is, the impact of tariffs is complex and difficult to predict. While some industries may benefit from the protectionist measures, others could suffer from increased costs and reduced access to foreign markets. The overall effect on the economy will depend on a variety of factors, including how other countries respond, the specific industries affected, and the broader economic context. It's also important to consider the long-term implications of tariffs, as they could lead to changes in global supply chains and trade relationships that may not be immediately apparent. There are many factors to consider, including the specific tariffs being imposed, the response of other countries, and the overall health of the global economy. Policymakers must weigh the potential benefits of protecting domestic industries against the risks of sparking a trade war and disrupting international trade. Ultimately, the success or failure of the tariff plan will depend on how well it is implemented and how effectively the government can navigate the complex landscape of global trade. As the debate continues, one thing is clear: the stakes are high, and the outcome will have significant implications for the future of the US economy and its position in the world. Section 8. A delicate balancing act. Ultimately, the success or failure of Trump's tariff plan depends on a delicate balancing act. The goal is to protect American jobs and businesses without triggering a trade war or causing significant harm to consumers. Whether Trump can strike this balance remains to be seen. One thing is for sure: the coming months and years will be crucial for the future of US trade policy and the global economy. Section 9. The future of trade. The debate over tariffs is a reminder that international trade is a complex issue with no easy answers. There are winners and losers in any trade deal, and finding the right balance between protecting domestic interests and promoting free trade is an ongoing challenge. As we move forward, it's important to have informed discussions about trade policy and its potential impact on businesses, consumers, and the global economy as a whole.